How to play the piano with both hands in an easy way. This is what I'm going to talk about today. First, I'm going to give you the 3 simple steps you can follow in order to practice the piano with both hands. And then I will show you 4 different ways we can play a melody with both hands while the hand is playing a very different accompaniment each time. Hi, I'm Dr. Antonella Di Giulio and I am a concert pianist and music theorist. This channel is about education and self-improvement for music lovers and piano students. I publish weekly videos on this channel, so subscribe so that you won't miss anything. But before we move on to some more detailed explanations about how to practice the piano with both hands, I would like to point out some incredible advantages you will have from this type of training and that you would never imagine. Of course, by playing the piano with both hands, you will be able to play complex pieces of music and feel good about yourself and about your accomplishments. But playing the piano will foremost benefit your brain functions. Coordinating both hands is just one of the many tasks the brain needs to carry out while playing the piano. Most piano music requires your left and right hands to perform different actions with various degrees of complexity. This type of training over the years has exponential benefits on how the brain of a pianist works. In professional pianists, brain activation is low when making complex finger movements. These complex movements require less mental energy for a pianist. The difference also manifests in the structural differences in the brain in itself. The right and left hemispheres of the brain are bridged by a structure called the corpus callosum. This communication is part of what enables us to coordinate both hands. And it is there that there are the major differences in the pianist's brain. Professional pianists have larger connections between the 2 parts of our brain. So pianists are able to make the brain into better rounded machines. Piano playing makes minds efficient in every way. Pianists have brains that efficiently conserve energy by allocating resources more effectively than anyone else. And now let's look at how to practice with both hands in order to play wonderful music and have an amazing brain. Now, imagine a piece of music as being as a piece placed on a timeline where the sounds are divided between the right hand and the left hand. When we are playing a piece at the piano, we are basically playing almost 2 different instruments. The right hand is playing a melody most of the times, while the left hand is accompanying. It can also be the opposite, and it can be very different at all times. So the main secret is to know really well what the right hand has to do and what the left hand has to do. So the first thing you have to do if you are a beginner is to know really well what notes you're playing. So read the notes first, read the rhythm, count it, know really well one hand. So practice the right hand really, really well. Then do the same with the left hand. And when you practice together with both hands, that process has to be very, very slow and limited to just 1 measure, 2 measures, just 1 section, depending on how difficult the piece is and how far you are. For example, one of my Instagram followers has sent me a message and she was requesting help for a piece she didn't know how to play with both hands. I looked at the piece and I saw nothing else than a sequence of 16 notes, and the left hand was just playing some of those 16 notes. So the secret there is really to slow down everything and to play one note after the other and to follow the piece like the piece is just a timeline, and to look up. So which notes are together, which notes are just with the right hand, which notes are just with the left hand, and then try to really coordinate both hands. That's the difficult part in playing the piano. Now I will show you 4 simple patterns that you can find in piano pieces and how to practice them. For example, let's imagine that we want to play the melody "Mary Had a Little Lamb." We will practice the right hand first. Then we will practice the left hand, same melody. Now please notice that I'm playing slow. If you need, you can even play slower than that. So we don't need to be fast right at the beginning. Now I'm going to practice this with both hands together. So I will make sure that I start on the right key, the right fingers, that's important. And I'm trying to coordinate both hands. And if I struggle, I will just stop and repeat that section. Now let's imagine that I'm struggling and I do this instead of this, right? I play this. Okay, that sounds pretty, but it is not right. What do? So I repeat that part. I stop a second before the mistake I made before. I think about the fingers that I need to play, so this and this, and I try to coordinate them. Ready, and go. Good. Now, playing this right just once, it is not enough. I need to repeat that few times in order to play that well. So I repeat that until I know for sure that the fingers are going in the right direction. Prepare the fingers on the key. Ready, go. Okay, now that I know I can play this part, I can go to the next part. And I skip here. If I need to stop before playing, I will stop and look at the fingers. Okay, so now that I know this part, it is not that I really know this part. I need to repeat that quite a bit until I'm sure that my fingers will go in the right direction without me thinking about that. prepare. And now we'll play the second part, which is almost the same. Now the second pattern we will practice is with chords. So let's imagine the piece we want to play is still Mary Has a Little Lamb, but I want to accompany this with chords. So we'll have the C major chord, which is this one. So I play 3 notes together. And then again, the C chord. Then the G chord and C chord again, and then one more time the same thing. Now if your chords don't really sound like this and they sound a little bit like this, so make sure that you practice playing 3 fingers at the same time first before attempting to play the right hand together with the left. So let's repeat that. 1, 3, and 5. And again, B chord, small chord, and again. Now, we have already learned the right hand in the previous section, but for the sake of this video, let's repeat the right hand one more time. Okay, now I will attempt to play just the very first measure with both hands together. So the first note and the chord are together. So I keep the chord down for 4 quarters. So I count 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and that would correspond to just this part. So this is the first measure. I try again. So prepare all the fingers. Ready, go together. Now we'll have a different chord here, right? So I lift this hand and I make sure I stay in this because this melody is really nice and connected. So if I wouldn't do this, the melody would sound like that. Which is nice, but not really professional. So let's try in the right way. Stay on the second finger, lift this. In a slow motion, prepare this finger. So we stop the melody for a little bit so we can get ready. And then ready, go together. You see I'm walking here and here, I'm lifting, going up and down. Ready, go. Now we'll do the same with the next measure. So I lift this hand, I stay on this hand, I prepare, ready, go. I stay on this finger, I lift this hand, prepare the C chord, ready, go. Now, if you need to repeat this part, you we'll repeat this part as long as you need in order to feel really comfortable in playing this. Now let's try again from the beginning. Lift, prepare. You see I'm going a little bit faster. Lift, prepare. Lift, prepare, and walk with this. And now we'll do the next section. Lift, prepare, together. Lift, prepare, together. Lift, prepare, and together. So at the end, it should sound like this. The third pattern we are going to practice is the Alberti bass. So the Alberti bass is basically the chord, but I don't play all three notes together. I play first the 5, finger number 5, finger number 1, finger number 3, and finger number 1 again. And then again 5, 1, 3, 1. So now, for the sake of this video, let's practice the same sequence of chord. So C chord, C chord, G chord, C chord. C chord. Then again C chord. Then G chord. Then C chord. Now we will use the same melody. Melody has a little M, and that's a little bit difficult, right? Because right at the beginning, the two notes are together, and then I have this finger alone, this finger alone, and then together. Now, if you've never done that before, I would suggest that you stop here and you repeat this part many, many times. Thumb, second finger, and then together. And yes, it takes that long. Thumb, second finger, together, and then together. And then I repeat that first measure many, many times. Now I go to the second measure. Now notice how I'm not jumping with this hand, I'm not doing this. I'm trying to connect the left hand really well, despite the right hand is doing something else. Good. Now I will follow this same pattern with the G chord and finger number 2. And then next measure, finger number 3, and then 5. Good. So once I know this, I repeat this part many, many, many times until my coordination is really, really good. And then I practice the second part, which is very similar. Now two notes at the right hand go with the left hand. Together, together, and then... And I finish with a C maybe. Now the fourth pattern we can use to accompany this melody is an ostinato, which is where the left hand is playing over and over again the same things. Now for this video we will play Mary Has a Little Lamb in minor, that means in a minor key, in A minor in this case, so it sounds a little bit sad, but so we practice the ostinato just a little bit. We'll do this and repeat that over and over again. Now for Mary Has a Little Lamb we will play the same fingers, but we'll start on C and we will play it together. Have fun practicing the piano, and I will hope you will watch the next video. Bye!